In our guide to mastering alpha presence, we're revealing the top 10 body language strategies that define the contemporary alpha male. Plus, to ensure your journey toward alpha dominance doesn't inadvertently turn against you, we'll highlight the primary mistake men make that unintentionally presents them as less assertive while attempting to project dominance. Okay, let's dive in. Number 10. Establish your rhythm. The distinction between alphas and others is readily apparent in numerous ways, particularly in the way one walks. Nervous individuals tend to hustle with a rapid, choppy gait, a clear sign of haste without purpose. In stark contrast stands the alpha male, whose serene and deliberate strides suggest he orchestrates the tempo of the world around him. However, don't be misled into thinking the goal is to merely saunter and delay others. The true art lies in pacing yourself so naturally that it influences others, women included, to sync their pace with yours. Can you grasp the nuance? Number 9. Claim your space. Picture a common scenario. A guy perched on a seat, back curved, shoulders inching up to his ears, chest caved, eyes possibly glued to his smartphone screen. Sounds typical, doesn't it? Many men nowadays adopt this pose without even realizing it, a posture that tends to make others, particularly women, question if he's all right. Now, envision the alpha male. He sits back with ease, embodies relaxation, yet he's ready to engage in a dialogue with anyone up for it. His demeanor is laid back and considerate, yet he exudes an aura of owning his space. Eager to tap into that alpha energy? Embrace this iconic stance. Provided you have the room, swing your right ankle onto your left knee, recline, let your arm rest behind you, and observe as your environment shifts. Number 8. Embrace openness. Your grandmother was right beyond just advising against slumping in your chair. She knew something about standing tall as well. Observe carefully and you'll notice that men who exude dominance and confidence share a common way of standing. It's a stance that naturally amplifies their presence in any room they enter. This posture is neither aggressive nor defensive. It simply embodies openness. There are various ways to project an approachable yet confident demeanor, but one particularly effective technique is this. While engaging in conversation or just moving about, clasp your hands behind your back. This is not just a random gesture. The chest is one of the more exposed areas of our body. By consciously placing your hands behind you, perhaps holding one wrist with the opposite hand, you're presenting yourself as open and secure, signaling to others that you perceive no threat. This subtle body language speaks volumes. Number 7. Perfect the introductory handshake. It's a time-honored belief. The handshake can silently broadcast a lot about your character, and this holds true in all social interactions, including those with women. However, what often eludes many is that there's a fine balance in executing a handshake correctly. It's not merely about firmness, but the conveyance of assuredness through finesse. A bone-crushing grip is just as poor form as a limp, lifeless one. To project true confidence, one must exude control, not force. Here's a quick guide to nailing that handshake. Meet their gaze, reach out steadily, and invite them to initiate the grip. When hands meet, clasp theirs with assured firmness, mindful not to overdo the pressure. A brief 3-pump shake is sufficient. During this exchange, let a genuine smile play on your lips and accompany the gesture with a few words of greeting. This isn't just courtesy, it's the unspoken language of confidence. Number 6. Master the art of touch. Embarking on the nuanced journey of alpha male interaction, especially when it involves touch, can be the most powerful display of the 3 essential alpha traits: confidence, chemistry, and comfort. Misstep here, and you risk being categorized as overbearing or even worse, submissive. The hesitation many men have with initiating touch is understandable. Nobody wants to unsettle someone they're attracted to. Yet, therein lies the very essence of why touch is so effective in the alpha repertoire. It carries an element of risk. Proper touch is not merely physical contact. It's a communication of understanding and respect for personal boundaries. It conveys a man's capability to navigate risk and honor a woman's autonomy. Wondering how to appropriately employ touch without overstepping? Start with these 2 tips. navigate through a crowded space by lightly placing your hand on her upper back to guide her, or instead of tapping or shouting, lightly touch just above her elbow to capture her attention. These gestures are subtle yet assertive, reinforcing trust and awareness. Number 5. Harness the power of your eyes. Consider the eyes. They are often romanticized as the windows to one's inner essence and a critical component for anyone striving to project alpha male presence. Revisiting the significance of eye contact is essential because, unlike subtler aspects of body language, perfecting eye contact is relatively straightforward and can be honed with practice by anyone. Alphas utilize eye contact not just as a supplementary gesture, but as a standalone communicative force. Their gaze conveys a profound level of engagement and interest, a silent declaration of their presence and curiosity. Yet they understand the balance. It's not merely about maintaining a steady look, but using it strategically as an enhancement to interaction, not a dependency. Number 4. Occupy your territory. Alpha individuals command their space naturally. It's not about spreading out excessively or occupying more room than necessary, but rather about their inherent comfort in their surroundings, which in turn commands respect and personal space from others. The room they occupy is not a result of a sense of entitlement, but rather the outcome of others' instinctive recognition of their assured presence. Fundamentally, this capacity to comfortably occupy space stems from physical conditioning and mastery over one's movements. Surprisingly, a powerful way to exhibit these qualities is through stillness. By refraining from constant motion such as fidgeting, incessant grooming, or adjusting attire, one signals not only ease in the physical space they hold, but also a deep-seated self-assurance. Number 3. Command your nonverbal narrative. The essence of alpha communication transcends verbal exchanges. A significant slice of interaction is conveyed silently through the nuances of body language. Here's the double-edged sword. You wield full authority over your physical expressiveness, yet many remain ignorant of the silent dialogue their bodies engage in. Mastering your nonverbal narrative lies in recognizing the reciprocal nature of body language. It shapes and is shaped by perception. Thus, if you're hunched over, it's not only a sign of low confidence to onlookers, it reinforces a lack of self-assurance within you. To combat and reverse this effect, conduct frequent audits of your physical stance, elevate your posture, and observe as your internal and external presence shifts towards a more commanding aura. Number 2. Solidify your influence. Consider this less obvious aspect of alpha dynamics. True alphas don't need to dominate conversations with their volume to be noticed. They solidify their influence through understated yet clear methods. Among these is the practice of mirroring, the discreet imitation of someone else's gestures and postures during an interaction. This strategy is potent for fostering an unspoken connection, though alphas are mindful to employ it sparingly to avoid seeming insincere or unsettling. In discourse, they maintain a composed and consistent tone, speaking deliberately without hastiness and embracing pauses with confidence. Their impact is thus compounded, relying not solely on their words, but the deliberate, assured manner with which they engage. Number 1. Command your surroundings. At the apex of alpha male nonverbal dynamics is a profound harmony with their surroundings. Alphas exhibit an acute awareness of the events and actors in their immediate vicinity, leveraging this cognizance for their benefit. This manifests as gliding through crowds without hindrance, seamlessly adjusting to situational shifts, or utilizing the environment to foster interactions. This is not about exerting undue influence or exertion of control, but rather about a keen observation and astute response. Their attunement allows them to foresee potential scenarios and address them with an air of ease that appears almost innate. And the primary misstep that causes men to appear feeble? Overexertion in the quest to exude dominance. This overzealous attempt typically leads to the opposite of the intended effect. Authentic alphas comprehend that dominance emerges naturally from their demeanor and deeds, rather than through strained displays. Keep in mind, the essence of an alpha lies not in being the most imposing or the most vocal, but in maintaining a demeanor that's calm, assured, and masterful.